I have a great story for you.
Yeah.
Years ago, I was working for a nursing home company.
Mhm.
Okay, I was in the corporate
Yeah.
level, and it was just as the Medicare Part D started to come into
Mhm.
effect. So I'm working in a nursing home that now has this whole problem with the prescription drug thing. So
Okay.
I headed up a work group in Washington, D.C. that helped give comments to CMS
Mhm.
about how to write up their instructions for how PDP plans work in nursing homes.
Mhm.
And so we were in Washington, D.C. a lot, and we went to this restaurant, and everybody, big,
Mhm.
big pharma companies are
Yeah.
paying for
Oh,
everything,
yeah.
right? So you
Yeah.
get the best of everything. And uh, there was this, there was this wine, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing I've ever tasted. Maryvale. Got to remember this, Maryvale. I come here, I move here, West Virginia, where I lived, there was no Costco.
Mhm.
I come here to to Florida, and I go into Costco, and they've got Maryvale wines in there for $33 a bottle. I'm like, oh yeah, take it out. It was not the same.
That's
at
the way
all.
that it
It was
works.
not the same at all.
I'll be honest with you. Some of the best bourbons that I ever bought were the stuff that was on the bottom shelf. All right, welcome back, everybody. This is our 5th segment of 7 Minutes for Seniors. I continue to be Chris, and
I'm still Jennie.
This is still Jennie, and this is 7 Minutes for Seniors. This is our 5th segment, 5th and final segment.
Okay.
We've already established that pecan pie
and
a good Beaujolais.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There you go. All right.
And they go together so well.
They might as well, right?
No, they do.
So, so the way I introduce these last questions is, I'm always about thinking about the future, right? So whatever happened today has already happened.
Mhm.
So like even when I go to bed at night, I'm not ruminating on what I could have done better today.
Mhm.
Like I've already debriefed about that, right? So what I'm thinking about is tomorrow and the big picture and everything. So that's kind of what these questions are about. Who would you want to meet personally and or professionally? And they don't have to be the same person. And yes, they can be alive or dead. And yes, you're allowed to say Jesus. Sorry, that's what everybody. Everybody asks me the same question.
I absolutely would love to have. I just got my DVD set for season 4 of The Chosen, and I'm just like, oh, I wish I could have lived in his time. Of course, I would love to, but I tell you, there's so many wonderful people in our history. I'm huge on founding fathers.
Right.
I'm huge on learning about how our Constitution came about. What were the things that people admired and learned from, and just because he's kind of a quirky character, I think I'd love to meet Benjamin Franklin.
That dude was a freak.
He was.
He was in trouble in France. He was in trouble in England.
He was a troublemaker everywhere. But he inspired and actually promoted Thomas Paine, who wrote the first pamphlet that from which everything else came.
Right. Yeah, it was like a Twitter post, right?
Absolutely, it was their form of Twitter post.
Right. Yeah, because John and I were talking. Oh, was it John and I? So I was talking to somebody about this, and I was like, literally, you know how hard it is to get 10 of us together and go to the same restaurant and show up at the same time and everything like that. Can you imagine? Like you got 13 colonies spread out over 1,000 miles, and somehow you got to get everybody together in Philadelphia. What happens if the rider that's supposed to deliver the message gets falls off a cliff, or or how long are you supposed to wait around for that guy to show up from Virginia? Like all of those things. Like we don't think about those things.
And all those signers of the original Declaration were all felons. According to the law of the day.
Yeah.
They were all felons.
And they weren't as old as they are on our money. They were 20 and 30-year-old guys full of piss and vinegar. And
they sacrificed everything.
Yep.
They lost their homes. When you read about what was happening in the colonies during that time, where, British soldiers would just come in your house and just take over your house. And they would take all your food, and they would take your horse, and they would take your cattle, and they would take everything that you owned, and you couldn't do a thing about it. That's why we have so many people think about like a lot of people are really familiar with what the Fourth Amendment is, but the Third Amendment is what protects your home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What protects your
What
home.
requires a search warrant or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you go back and meet Benjamin Franklin.
I would.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. I think
Yeah.
I'd be an interesting person to talk to.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. Okay. So now the future. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, 5 years older.
You don't have to be 5 years older in this
Oh,
fantastical
in my
sequence
fantastic
that
world,
we. No,
I
you
can
don't.
be. I
You
can 5
personally do
years
not.
from now. I can be 5 years younger.
You can be whatever you want to be
Yes.
in this thought experiment that we're doing. We're
Awesome.
just going to say that the
Awesome.
world is 5 years older. Everybody around you is 5 years older.
Yeah.
Where are you in 5 years?
Actually, not too far from where I am right now. I'm so blessed and so fortunate. I have enough income behind me
Hmm.
that I can take chances
Hmm.
on building business and not stress myself out about it so much that I don't spend time with my grandkids and my
Right.
daughter and friends.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You-
Okay. So go forward. Where are you in 10 years? Now you're 10 years older. Sorry, I
Now I'm
can't.
10 years
The time
older.
machine only works in 5 year increments. So now you're 10 years.
Well, 10 years from now, pretty much the same.
Same thing. Just working.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, probably maybe working a little less,
Right.
but the idea, one of the reasons that I chose to come into this particular field is because as you work, you develop, you build a book of business, and then eventually you get to where you don't have to go out and hunt to kill.
Right.
The kill comes to
Right.
you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
everybody,
She's not going to kill you
I'm
if
not
you come
killing
here.
anybody.
She's not figurative.
No,
She's
I'm
literally killing
not.
anybody.
No.
There's a
But when you
figurative.
start in this
Right.
business, any sort of insurance sales or real estate or anything like that, when you start, you have to do an awful lot of prospecting, going out trying to find
Hmm.
your
Yeah.
customer,
Yep.
which is a huge mindset change for me because I was a pharmacist for years. I never had to go find a customer.
Right.
They just walked right up to my
Yeah.
counter.
Yeah.
My business came right over the computer or the
Right.
telephone.
Yeah.
So I never had to go find a customer. And so there's been a lot of learning that I've had to do to
Hmm.
get here. But the fact is that the more I do this, the more people refer
Hmm.
people to me
Right.
because they like what I've done for them. They
Right.
like the fact that I keep in touch with them, that every year we're going to review everything. They like the fact that they can know if they send someone to me, I'm going to give them that same ability to understand the choices that they're making with their Medicare. That's my mission.
There you go. There you go.
There we go.
So do everybody a favor and tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
Well, you can go to info at Ask Dr. Jennie, and that's AskDrJennie.com. The website's not built yet, but the email address works.
Don't go to Jennie Powell Insurance.
Yeah.
I said that to you last week.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really have a website built yet. And
Okay.
that's okay. I have email addresses. And so askdrjennie.com, info at askdrjennie.com, or you can call me. You can call me at 904-643-3633.
Very good. You heard it from her. I am still Chris.
I'm still Jennie.
And that's been 7 minutes for seniors.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate you. And that's it. Y'all take care. Bye.